lifestyle. We are live. They call me the honey badger because I give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business. Oh, well, Theo, you have a good trip. Karen, how you doing? All right. So the jobs report came out yesterday. So I have a lot of stuff to get to. I didn't really get to going through the questions. We'll do that next week. But the jobs report came out, a bunch of data came out, and a lot of people are telling me that I'm crazy that I think that there will be no interest rate cut in September. I still believe the Fed will not drop the interest rate this year. I believe they're going to wait until after the election is completely done and until unemployment hits between 5.5% and 6%. I don't think they're panicking. I think they're looking at the inflation data being super high. Right now, inflation is out of control still. Grocery prices are out of control still. So that being said, they still need to have those interest rates high in order for them to get that under control. Only way that comes under control is if you put more pressure on the economy to contract. So I believe once we get to 5.5%, 6% unemployment, that's when they'll start discounting the rate. Hello, Jeff Watson, how you doing? Now, let's say that I'm wrong. Let's say September, they cut the interest rate down 0.25%. Okay. That means the RV industry, the boat industry, and the power sports industry will not see an interest rate cut for probably 6 months to a year before it really affects the recreational and outdoors industries. Okay. I always make a joke that says when interest rates go up, the RV industry, the boat industry, the power sports industry, anything dealing with toys, interest rates spike really fast. But we're the last to come down. So it's very interesting how that's all going to play out. Now, there's some good signs on the horizon. There's a lot of good stuff going on that points to the possibility that the RV community and the RV industry is making a turn for the better. And that is Camping World released their Q2 report. Now, it doesn't look pretty. They're down in revenue, down in profit, down in almost every sector of their quarterly report. But if you read between the lines, whether you love them, you hate them, or you're indifferent about them, Camping World is setting the standard of how to make a dealership work, how to make a dealership operate, okay? They are right now focused in on dumping inventory, and they've been in dump mode all year long. Now, I think what happened is Marcus Lemonis made a big mistake buying a bunch of stuff from the manufacturers out of their yard and overstuffed themselves with inventory. But instead of, watch this, instead of trying to make a bunch of money on the mistake, just cut it off. Let's go down the road, because they sold more new this year, so far year to date, than they did last year. And a lot of that is an inventory dump. They're also selling more used than they did because they're correcting a mistake that Camping World made by buying all of this high-priced used inventory, and now they're dumping it for losses because now they have it priced right to the market. Okay? I'm not living in my car. That's funny, though. So it's not greedflation. Greedflation, you guys and your greed. You have to go read these reports. Educate yourself away from the media If you still think that everything is because of corporate greed, shut off your television, shut off CNN, shut off Fox News, shut off all these media stations, and grab a quarterly report every month from a Fortune 500 company that is traded on the stock market. Grab it and read it in full. And when you read it, it's probably going to make you piss your pants how much money these folks don't make. Okay? Corporations, where the money's made in corporations is when they sell and merge with each other. It's all in stock manipulation and not stock manipulation, that's a bad word. It's all in the prediction of what the stock is going to do. That's where the money is. All the money in large corporations is not in profit, it's in debt. Okay? If you read an actual quarterly report from anybody, from an oil company, an energy company, Walmart, Target, etc., and you don't listen to the news and you read it for yourself and try to understand it yourself, which is very hard to do the first time you do it. I know I had a tough time the first time. You start having an understanding that these companies do not make as much money profit-wise. After everything's said and done, they don't make as much money as they claim, as the media claims they do. Okay? They don't make as much money as politicians claim they do. Do they make money? Yes, because if they didn't make money, they'd be out of business. But is it so far out of whack where they're making 2,000% profit on items? No. So just do what I say and read an actual report from these folks. Because when I read the Camping World report, Camping World is on pace to lose $40 million this year. Camping World is a publicly traded company that's going to double their loss from last year. They're not going to make money. So how is it corporate greed that's causing this when Camping World, the largest retailer, is going to lose their shorts this year? It's cash flow. Okay? Cash flow is what makes things work. We're going to go into a deep recession. Okay? It's going to last about 3 months because what we have in place now will kickstart the economy, because they'll just drop rates down to zero and cause more inflation. That's how it works, right? Okay. So with all that being said, this means, what it really means if you read between the lines, is there are a lot of buyers still in the market. There's a lot of people still out buying RVs, used and new. There's a lot of people that are still hunting for a deal. And Camping World, whether you hate them or love them, has figured out how to capture the bargain hunter. Okay? How are they doing it? They're not afraid to take a massive loss on a deal. It's a fact. A lot of dealerships out there are afraid of losing money to sell a unit. They're afraid of what the consequences are because they don't have investors. They don't have people who buy their stock. They don't have people that inject money and inject debt into the company to help write down the inventory. They don't have those in place. So how does a dealership, how does an RV dealership, how does a company that, let's say, is a mom and pop, keep up with Camping World? Simple. Keep your costs low, turn your inventory fast, stop being, stubborn about how much money you have to make on every deal. Just sell every unit and let the chips fall where they may. Fill the bucket. You're going to have your $500 deal. You're going to have your $5,000 deal. You're going to have your $2 deal. You're going to have your 20 grand deal. Throw all the deals into a bucket and see how filled up the bucket gets at the end of the month. Stop worrying about how much somebody else is selling something for. Stop worrying about it. That's okay, CXS camper. It's just easier for me to do it in the car because I'm constantly on the move. I've been driving Uber at night. I work a lot during the day. So it just makes it easier rather than stopping, sitting down, getting the phone ready, and then getting up and leaving again. I just, you know what? I'll stop at a gas station, flip on the live stream, and let's go because I'm going to drive Uber afterward. So, no, I understand. So all this being said, there's another turning point that's really good. It's bad and it's good at the same time. The good part and the bad part of what's also going on is we had a lot of bad dealerships go out of business in July. And I'm not talking about they're bad people. I'm talking about just bad business practices. They finally went out of business. And why that's a good thing. It's a bad thing for the employees. It's a bad thing for the actual owner of the place. I'm not saying Yahoo and jumping up and down, nothing like that. But the reason why it's good is because the RV factories have to buy back all of that inventory. So it's close to 36 dealerships, single locations that went out of business in July of 2024, which was just last month. So all that inventory has to be bought back for the most part. There are some places, some states where we'll go to an auction and the factory gets away clean. They are trying so hard to sell their propaganda to the public that one of the big things that's going on right now is they're making all these interior and exterior color changes. They're not doing anything innovative. They're just, oh, look, we're going to call it ice. We're going to put new graphics on, and we're going to change the interior to earth tones, and we're going to call it innovative and the best thing we've ever built so far. Yeah, it's the same construction, same parts, same vendors, same people building, same way of building. Now, there's nothing wrong with them changing colors and doing all that, but I think it's going to teach them that maybe they need to pay attention to what's on the ground than worry about what they're building. What's on the ground is more important than what they're building. Because what's on the ground is still way too much inventory. Camping World is overstocked. Lazy Days, overstocked. RV retailers, which is Blue Compass, overstocked. Funtown RV, overstocked. General RV, overstocked. Mom and pop all across the United States and Canada, overstocked with new inventory. They are still overstocked. So why are you still building? No Montour, how you doing? Basic Mom, how you doing? Well, here's the interesting Basic Mom. The internet is a great place for people to complain, okay? You don't hear from, it's not like there's a lot of channels on YouTube that talk about what a wonderful human experience people are having unless they're paid to do it, okay? That's the bottom line. Yeah, we're going to get to that in a minute, random or not. We're going to get to that in a minute. That's an interesting thing. So, reality is that I'm going to say the super majority of people are happy with their rigs. Okay? People can go on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube and say whatever they want to. There's another factor involved, and this is something I talked to with a guy over the phone that's in a repair shop. There are people out there that do not check their rigs. There is something to some of these folks, very small percentage, but there are some folks that hear a noise in a water pump or notice the water's not coming out right out of their shower, yet they don't go check the pump, they don't go check the water lines, they don't go check for a leak, they just figure the water pump's going out. or they just figure they're not getting enough pressure at the campsite and they let it go. And then the problem persists and persists and persists. Nobody sits down and does a checklist anymore. It's the same thing in cars, though. It's not just RVs. It's cars, too. It's boats as well. You know, if you read the manual of how to operate your vehicle, there's a checklist of what you're supposed to do before you even turn on the ignition, including checking your oil, checking your water level. How many of us do that? How many of us folks will go out, pop open the hood, check the oil level, and check the water in our car every single time before we start our car? I'm guilty of not doing it. Karen, you are more than welcome to. I'll do it, right? So the reality of things is really, really difficult, because I'm going to say, like, the super majority of people that come to me or talk to me are telling me really wonderful things. We're having a good time. Yeah, there were little things wrong, but the dealer fixed it, or the service department fixed it. But that's because they take the advice of people. I had a guy in the car. I was taking him on an Uber trip to San Diego. We had a great conversation. He was so mad about the service he had on his Fleetwood motorhome. But then he discovered, when he called the manufacturer, that some of these dealers are so backed up just diagnosing a problem, especially small little problems, not the big major ones, but the small little ones, that it's easier for some people to just call Fleetwood or Monaco directly and diagnose the problem over the phone, or have Fleetwood or Monaco send out a mobile technician to diagnose the problem. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. I used to work for Giant RV, and Giant RV was a great place to work. Good people, okay? They're in Southern California, and they are so buried, absolutely buried in people, that it's still going to take time for them to catch up. And it's the own people they sold units to. They're not even taking outside work. They're not even taking work from outsiders. If you bought out of state in California and it was a product that Giant RV carries, you're not servicing it at Giant RV right now, because they're so buried in people that it's going to take them a while to get through it. So understanding how service works. Here's the other thing you have to take in consideration. And I talked about this on the RV industry update video. There are people that wait last minute to get their rig in for service. Okay. If I'm a snowbirder right now, if I'm in Northern Canada, if I'm in South Dakota, if I'm in Minnesota, I'm going to go down to my rig tomorrow and start getting it ready for winter. Because if I find a problem, I'm going to get it into service now, instead of, oh, we're going to go do it around Thanksgiving, and all of a sudden there's a problem, and now you're just pissed off because you can't get in and get it fixed before you're supposed to take your trip. So take complaints with a grain of salt. This is why I don't like Liz Amazing and her style. I don't like Wingman and his style. Hey, high five. They're capitalists. They're making money. They're doing a good job. They're right on top of things. And I will say, Liz Amazing has helped a lot of people. But the reality is, not everything is a piece of crap. Not everything is a pile of garbage. Not everything in the RV industry is falling apart when it comes out of the factory. That is a myth, and that is so far from the truth, it's not even funny. Because if that was true, then nobody would go buy them. Okay? So we just have to look beyond all the negative Nancy's on the negative, sorry, Karen, I'm going to say negative Karens on social media. Okay? And that doesn't mean Karen F, because she's awesome. But just, you know what I'm talking about. The Chads and the Karens. Just set them aside. Look for reality. There's nothing wrong with buying something used. There's nothing wrong with buying something new. Now, what I'm going to tell you is Liz Amazing did a video that she is so full of crap on. It's not even funny. I saw it on TikTok. She's so full of crap that she said a 2013 that was on a dealer lot is built better than a 2025. Excuse my language. Kids, cover your ears. Bullshit. I have stuff that I have sold to people personally back when I worked at Giant RV almost 12, 13 years ago, and their rig is just at the end of its life cycle. It's how you take care of the rig. It's not the build quality. They've been building it the same for years. Nothing has changed except for some of the stuff has gotten lighter weight. The cabinets are not real wood. They've gotten lighter, yes, but the actual construction of the sidewalls, construction of the roof, construction of the floor hasn't really changed in 45 years. Nobody's doing something so outstanding back in 2013 that it is above everything else. That is a complete and utter fallacy and a complete lie. They're all wobbly boxes. They're all earthquakes on wheels. It doesn't matter if you buy it from when it's a 1975 or a 2022 or a 1986 or a 2012. They're all wobbly boxes, okay? They've been that way for 45 years. They're recreational vehicles. They're not houses. Now, there are some that are built better than others, okay? Forest River Riverstone has done a really good job overhauling their product and making it better for 2025, but they're going to shoot themselves in the foot because every dealer's overstocked with 2024s. So I don't know how they're going to get out of that mess, right? But C'est La Vie, they still did a really good job. Alliance RV, I trust those guys because I know those guys because I sold their Heartland products back when they were built like a tank. So I know even if they have problems right now, they will solve those problems. We know that Keystone RV is going to be consistently the same Keystone RV it's been since 1996. The way they do things really hasn't changed. The problem is the process of two things. Number one, what the salespeople are taught by absolute idiots at the factory. And I'm not talking about the people that build them. I'm not talking about the sales manager or the GM or the president. I'm talking about the dumb ass sales reps that represent the factory that go drinking at the bar. Let's go down to the bar and let's get the owner drunk so we can get him to get us more orders because I'm not making a paycheck. I mean, I'm not saying all of them are like that. Not all of them are like that, but there's a big majority of them are like that. And the sales guys, especially when they're young, they're eating this crap up like, oh my God, a reflection grand design? You can live in it full time like a house? And kids can jump up and down in the bunkhouse room and nothing's going to go wrong? Yeah, I can have five-year-old kids there jumping around and hanging on cabinets and everything's going to be okay? Or, oh my God, a Forest River Cedar Creek? You mean I don't have to do any maintenance to it? And by the way, this isn't real. I'm just making it up, okay? But, oh my God, a Cedar Creek? You can camp in it in the snow and not do anything to the underbelly so nothing freezes? I mean, people eat this crap up and then they sell it to the customer. And customers right now, when they're desperate because housing is so expensive and they're trying to cut their bill down, they have this like pedestal of what the RV industry is. Like, oh my God, it's a tiny house. No, it's not. It's a recreational vehicle. And in order for you to full-time in a fifth wheel, or full-time in a motorhome, or full-time in a toy hauler or travel trailer, there are things you have to do in order to make that travel trailer or RV work. Now, there are exceptions. You got stuff by Allegro or by Tiffin. You got stuff by Newmar and stuff by Forest River and Thor and Grand Design and Alliance. You have stuff that does and is built with full-timers in mind, but there's still things you have to do to your rig to make it full-time proof where you can live in it 365 days a year. You can't just, I'm just going to walk in the door like I do at my house and do nothing. You got to check your water. You got to check your tanks. You got to check your ACs. You got to have your appliances serviced. You got to have maintenance done. It's not free. It's not plug in and I got a house I can live in. That's not the way the RV industry has ever worked. And because of this, these young kids that are coming through the system that are teaching people this garbage and this crap, it's caused a lot of problems. It's caused a lot of issues. When I got somebody that comes up to me and tells me they're going to live in a coach, I give them my experience of living in the Keystone Cougar up in Oregon. Hey, these are the things I had to do. My Cougar has an Arctic package. It's 4-season certified. Yet in 0-degree temperatures, there's a bunch of crap I had to do to make sure that we could still live in the sucker. There's stuff that I still got to do because the gray tank cracked. It didn't crack big, but it cracked enough where it's leaking. So I got to make a trip up to Oregon to go fix it because that's a part of life. It has a lifeline to it. A house has a lifeline. A house has maintenance. A car has maintenance. It's not plug in, push a button, and everything works and never will break. But that's the expectation that's set at the dealership or set on YouTube or set on TikTok by these brand ambassadors, by these full-time RVers that half the time don't even actually full-time. I have caught 5 full-timers that say they live in their coach every minute of every day, and I see them checking in into a Holiday Inn. It's a Fugazi. It's a Fugazi most of the time. I have people that have reached out to me that are trying to sell their B-van conversion because they can't stand living in it. They tried living in it and it sucks. And then there's people who've lived in for 3-4 years and film all this incredible stuff, and then they knock on the door at the Holiday Inn. Like, I'm ready for my regular bed and my shower. I mean, let's be realistic. Yes, you can full-time in a lot of RVs. You can go and travel the United States and Canada and see all kinds of incredible stuff. But it's not free. And it doesn't come maintenance-free, and it doesn't come procrastination-free, and it doesn't come without its challenges. I have said for 3 years on this channel, RV stands for toolkit and sense of humor, and that's never going to change. And Liz Amazing, if you are watching this live stream right now, stop lying to the people on the community by saying a 2013 was built better than anything today. Stop telling that bull crap. Nothing's changed. The frame is the same. The walls are the same. They still use the same stuff. The process hasn't changed. You can make the comment The cabinets are better in 2013 than they are today. Okay, I can't argue with that. I cannot argue with you when you say the cabinets were better in 1985 than they are today. I can't argue with you. It's because they're all real wood. But the people now have gotten smarter. You have technology in these coaches that you can't put real wood cabinets in. But we don't have the Armageddon people telling you that. They just want to tell you what particle, you feel this cabinet is particle board. Do you know why they use particle board? Because of the electrical they have to put in. There are coaches that have data and computer brains, and they can't put real wood in the actual cabinets. So you use real wood on the face cabinets, actual cabinet doors. See, this right here is just insanity. Absolute insanity. This is a wonderful industry. This is an amazing industry. This is an amazing lifestyle. Stop crapping on it. And for the other side, that's the corporate RV dealership YouTubers, stop making it out to be sunshine and rainbows. Let's give people really cool education so that way they know what they're getting into. So when they buy it and they go camping, they're not mad when something goes wrong. They go, oh yeah, okay, they talked about that. For you technicians out there that want to say Forest River is all a pile of crap, everything Forest River is a pile of crap, everything Thor is a pile of crap, shut up. Seriously. They're all earthquakes on wheels. They're all meant to go have fun and build memories and enjoy ourselves and create this, I guess you could say, illusion or this vision that where we're not all in a rat race. We need to stop being in a rat race for a while. And for some of us, we can't sleep in a tent on the ground anymore. We can't sleep in the back of a car or in the back of a shell camper of our truck. These RVs are for us. These RVs are for us to build memories and do something that we've always wanted to do and scratch stuff off our bucket list and get our kids off our phones and get ourselves off our phones and get ourselves away from Fox News and CNN and MSNBC. That's what this community is about. That's what this industry is about. That's what the RV industry in total, including the boat industry and the power sports and everything, fishing equipment. It's not for people to crap on everything. It's not sunshine and rainbows either. And yeah, first on race day, fix or repair daily. You know, it's crazy. I mean, this is nuts. And you know what's really cool is when we're out on the road, okay? It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, a Republican, an independent, a liberal, a conservative. All of our politics, all of our bull crap gets set aside because we all have something in common. We all wanted to go out to Bryce Canyon or Zion or Yosemite or any of these places across the entire Northern American continent. And when we get in trouble, when we have a problem, there's people that are there to help us and there's people there to support us, and we build friendships and long-lasting relationships with people because it's something we don't do anymore. We all depend on text messaging each other and messaging each other. We're so afraid to talk over the phone or go talk to somebody in person. I've watched families that text each other from different rooms in the same bloody house rather than going downstairs and just having a conversation. And this allows us to be sociable and remember what it was like to have neighbors and what it was like to go outside and have a 4th of July barbecue and watch kids run around without the worry of some knucklehead pulling them into a van. You know, pay attention. Don't make it, if you're on a strict budget, look used. If you can't buy used and you're on a strict budget, understand the cheaper you buy it, the worse product it's going to be. You get what you pay for. But there's ways to make a Coleman 17B work. There's ways to make a Salem 157 FB work, or a Wildwood 157. There's a way to make a Springdale 1800 BH work. But to think that they're built better than a house is so untrue. And that brings me to my final subject of the night. My final subject of the night is there have been numerous people that have reached out to me and said that they have ordered a Wolfpack fifth wheel toy hauler from Cherokee at their local dealer, and Cherokee's not building it. Now, I have not gotten a comment back from Forest River. I don't know if there's a shortage of parts. I don't know if they're discontinuing certain floor plans. I haven't gotten word yet. I'm searching out to get word for it. But it's not one floor plan, it's like three. One of them being the 365 pack 16, the 355 pack 14. There are folks that have ordered these from dealerships, and dealers have said, hey, we're going to give you back your money because they're not going to build them. Now, there's a possibility, big possibility, that there's so many in stock across the United States that they made the decision to hold off on building them until they get their stock down. Now, if that's the truth, they should come out and say that. They can make a press release in rvbusiness.com, rvtravel.com. There's all kinds of places to make an announcement like that. And that is a possibility. I have not gotten confirmation on anything yet. But slowly but surely, I've been getting emails, and it's not just Cherokee. It's other products too, other brands. But if I look across the United States at some of these floor plans that they're not going to build 2025s of, there's a potload of 2024s out there. And in some cases, there's a potload of 2023s out there too. Okay. Look, frames have to do with a lot of things. The frames cracking over time is overstress. Okay. If you pay attention to California RV specialist, Dustin, if you guys are not following Dustin yet on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook, find him. Dustin is a wealth of knowledge, okay? Toy haulers, fifth wheels, especially when they're overloaded, overworked, they do create stress cracks in the frame, and there are ways to fix it. But that's why you inspect your frame for cracks. Now, frame failure, what you guys are talking about with fifth wheels and the pin and Grand Design, I believe still today, no matter what somebody says, I still believe that this is a Grand Design RV manufacturing problem, not a Lippert problem. I do blame Lippert. I don't let Lippert off the hook. Lippert, I think it's 10, 15% of the blame. And I think the rest of the blame goes on the manufacturer who puts the walls and puts all the weight on the frame. So the reality is that frames are not cracking all the time. But if you go watch Dustin's channel, he's seen a 2013 Stealth toy hauler. Started having a crack. He knows how to fix it. He fixed it. Okay? It happens. The guy's putting a big side-by-side and going off-road. Even with independent suspension, it's going to put a lot of stress on the frame. Same thing it does in a car. You don't think that trying to tug a big, huge freaking toy hauler or boat behind you doesn't put stress on the transmission of a truck or an SUV? It does. That's why you keep yourself going. Probably not. But see, here's the thing, just so you know, random or not. Sometimes the manufacturer and the dealer are not on the same page. I remember once, this is a while back ago, I think it was 2016. Yep, 2016. I ordered a Winnebago Vista motorhome for a customer. Okay. They ordered midnight interior and something ocean exterior. Okay. When the coach came in, the color was wrong on the inside and the color was wrong on the outside. What happened? Well, I ordered it in November, it was supposed to be there in April. Well, right around March, as they were starting to build the coach, they made a random decision to cancel both those colors and didn't inform us and didn't inform the customer, didn't even inform the dealership network, didn't inform anybody. And they put it on me because they said, well, didn't you read? We have the right to cancel any colors at any time. Now, thank God, I'm a pretty good salesperson, okay? I'm kind of a dick, but I'm a pretty good salesperson, okay? And the lady and I got along really good. So I was able to make one hell of a joke to her, and it made her laugh her butt off, and she ended up taking the motorhome anyway because everything else was right, okay? So sometimes that doesn't work, right? It is wrong, Karen. I know it's wrong. Somehow the lady still took the motorhome. But again, you know, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I wasn't some okay good at selling stuff. I'm not the best salesperson in the world, nowhere near it, but I had enough of a rapport with her, I made it work, okay? Oh, she was pissed. I was pissed. I went nuclear. I called my rep. See, I have a reputation on the factory side of being a complete dick, okay? I really do, because I'll call people and straight out tell them how it is. I mean, it's no holds bar, okay? And some guys can hang and some folks can't. I would say half the reps I've known for at least 10 years, when they want to have like one of those serious conversations about what's really going on and no fluff, no BS, no garbage, they call me, right? But sometimes they don't want to hear the answer, right? So anyway, if you want to know how I did it, what I did was she had a Fleetwood Southwind. She's actually a subscriber to this YouTube channel, so she's probably going to watch this later, okay? But so she had an 07 Fleetwood Southwind 32V, and which was the most popular Fleetwood that was sold, the Southwind, that Southwind, okay? And her and I were having a conversation. She's all mad, I'm all mad. After we're done with the Winnebago guy, and I just finally just blew my stack completely, where I cussed the guy over the phone. Her and I went out and had lunch, and she's saying that she's going to back out of the deal. And I said, I understand, and blah, blah, blah. And she goes, you're not mad? I'm like, no, but I got a question for you. And she goes, what? And I said, you know, what color is the interior of your Southwind? And she straight out looked at me in my face, and she couldn't tell me what the name of the color of the interior was. All she remembered is it was a dark interior. That's all she could remember. And she sat down, she put her fork down at Denny's, and she looked at me and she goes, you made your point. I'll take the motorhome. She's a sweetheart. I love her to death. She's awesome, okay? Lithium batteries and solar panels, what are adding weight that the manufacturers aren't factoring in? Sometimes, Jeff, sometimes that's true. Sometimes that's true, sometimes that's not. I would say that the super majority of fifth wheel and travel trailer builders do take that into context, because what they do is they build prototypes. The majority of them build a prototype before they put it into production. No matter what the changes are, they build a prototype. And usually they build 3 prototypes, and those prototypes go on the weight scale. I'm not gonna say everybody does it that way, but I'm gonna say the mass majority of RV manufacturers, no matter if they're built in Oregon, California, Idaho, Indiana, etc., Iowa, they do the same thing. Now, not everybody does that. Some folks make changes and don't reweigh and start doing all that funny business, okay? And I have a feeling that's where this frame failure in a lot of these manufacturers came from, which, remember, it's really predominantly only 4 brands. 3 of them are connected to Grand Design RV, and one of them is connected to Keystone, which is Keystone Montana High Country / Alpine. But, you know, that's something that, you know, and yeah, I would weigh your coach no matter what. Even if you own it, I would weigh it. I would weigh your coach fully loaded. I would go and load your coach up with everything you got and go weigh it and see where you're at. That's what I would do. Okay, that way you can kind of figure out where your max is. Maybe you're under, maybe you're over. I mean, that's what I would do. Okay. But anyway, I foresee RV factories are not going to build as many 2025s. And the reason why is dealers are not going to order them. Dealers have finally nutted up and decided to tell the factories no. We're not going to bail you guys out. We got to bail ourselves out. 36 dealerships have officially closed their door between Canada and the United States over the last 32 days. Now, that's not a lot. Okay, that seems scary, but it's not. And again, most of these dealers were bad business people. Okay, I knew some of them, and I had history with 15 of them. Okay, but the reality is the guys that are going to survive this, the people that are going to survive this, the people that are going to come back into the industry after this is all said and done, are going to be a lot more careful about how much inventory they order, what inventory they order, how many brands they're going to carry. And let's remember, one of the big highlights of everything is there's a lot of used RVs for sale out there. And when they are priced correctly according to the market, buyers are soaking them up really fast. When they're overpriced because either you owe too much money or you still think you can get $1 million for something you bought for 100 grand, hey, you know, more power to you if someone comes and buys it. Right? No, that's okay, Random. You know I'm not going to name dealers, so just email me later. It's not a big deal. Okay. I think one of the most important things that should come out of all this is we, the dealers, you, the community, you, the buyers, we're finally starting to get on the right page and on the same page. It took since August of 2022, almost 2 full years, but we're finally to the point where the RV industry might be the first industry that comes out of this economic mess. But the factories have to get on board. The factories have to get on board by realizing they are not going to make money. You're done. You're not making money this year. Sorry. Camping World's losing money. Lazy Days is losing money. Ford's losing money. Ford dealers are losing money. Boat dealers are losing money. Everybody's losing their rear end. Come join the party. Write those big checks to the dealers. If you don't want to write the check to the dealer, hey, on all 2023s, we'll give the customer a $5,000 rebate. On every 2024, on every 2023, we'll give them a $10,000 rebate. Whatever. Get a program together to get this inventory off people's lots. Anyway, it will be interesting this year. I'm going to try to get out to Hershey. It's a secret, but I'm going to try to get out to Hershey. Anyway, that's it for tonight, guys. Until next time, toolkit and sense of humor.